I still do readings. I just slowed down doing them on TikTok. I actually be on YouTube. That's really my main platform that I be on when it comes to my readings. But anyways, this is what I got for y'all. Somebody is looking at pictures and photos of you. Somebody, somebody got videos and pictures of you. Somebody did not want to give you what was yours. So this is, I'm feeling like whoever these people is that may have pictures and videos of you, this could have been like maybe in your past, maybe when you were younger, a younger adult, a younger child. This also gives me the vibe that somebody could have stolen something from you in the past. There's an energy of somebody who wears a lot of herringbones, necklaces, a masculine energy. This person also works at a McDonald's, like they're a manager for the McDonald's chain restaurant. Exactly, that's exactly what I'm getting. A manager that is a thief. This person hides money. So I'm going to use this as an example. If somebody stole maybe an inheritance or stole something that belongs to somebody else, or even a drug dealer, I'm going to just use that as an example. These are all examples, but these could be actually real, what's going on. They hide their money in this business that they work at. The owners of the company don't notice, and I was specifically shown that, so I had to be careful because I don't want nobody. I did not get that. Somebody who, what I got exactly is somebody, and this is a man of color that I saw. I don't know who this man is. I never met this man a day in my life, but I can describe to you what this man looks like. To be honest, he looks like my baby father, but just a younger version and a lighter. But whoever this man is, he has like a bald fade. He got maybe a, I ain't gonna say a pudgy face, but he got round eyes. He got full-fledged lips. He got full-fledged nose. And he wears these chains to work. This person is hiding money. Now, I don't know where this money came from. Well, like I said, guys, it has to be stolen money or something that this person did that was illegal. Because why would you need to hide money, you know, in a business? That's what I saw. Okay. This person is a manager at this in particular McDonald's. Oh, I saw it at this particular McDonald's. And it's crazy because I do not know who this person is, but this is what was shown to me. And he is a man of color. He's a young man. He's not, and I'm not saying a very young man, but what I'm showing is that he's a young, attractive man, and he's a man of color. It says the situation is getting hot and things are boiling over. Also, this person, this man that hides money, hiding assets through the business he worked for, the company he works for. Now, it don't have to be a McDonald's, but it was shown to me a McDonald's. It could be any kind of business, but whoever this man is, I feel like it's McDonald's because that's how it was shown to me. But and the way McDonald's look on the inside, oh yeah, it's a McDonald's. It's definitely a McDonald's. This person wears, it's like they wear this because they know they stand out. This person, yeah, so this person wears up to, like, I ain't gonna say up to, it was 3 or more necklaces that this person wear, and I want to say they're herringbones. This person is also friends with another man of color. They're about around the same age. They could be, shit, this could be his brother or something, but I wasn't getting that. But this person drives a blue sports car. Remember back in the day how the IROCs look, or the Nissan Maximum, the sporty ones looked in the 90s? That's what this blue car looked like. Okay, this is a past situation. Somebody likes to, actually it ain't somebody. I also saw that a mother is going to whoever this person is, somebody also likes to eat breakfast at McDonald's. They like to go in, sit down, and eat. Somebody is going to be celebrating a birthday. Somebody's going to be celebrating a birthday at McDonald's for breakfast because they like McDonald's. I like McDonald's too. I like their French fries. That's the only thing I eat from them. I don't eat anything else from McDonald's, but they French fries. That's it. And that's crazy because yesterday I went out of town for a short little trip, little rendezvous. And I went to this restaurant called the Kitchen Social. I believe that's what it's called. It was a very nice restaurant. And for some reason on the way back home, I was having cravings for McDonald's, and to be honest, I really don't eat McDonald's for real. If I do eat, it'd be from their French fries, and that's it. And lo and behold, I go to sleep and I'm having dreams about certain things because certain people was playing in my energy. And I keep telling y'all playing my energy. There's going to be things exposed about you. So I'm not the one to play with. Okay. And I think this is why I had this. And my husband will tell you, because I was craving McDonald's for some reason. And it's crazy because I just got finished eating a beautiful meal at this place called the Kitchen Social. And I've been having a headache. I knew it was coming because I felt it yesterday. It was like it was so many people in my energy. That's what it was. Spirit was getting me prepared for this reading. And that's why I was so tired yesterday. I was so depleted yesterday. But I still managed to push through. I still did what I needed to do. But I was tired. I ain't never been tired like this. So anyway, somebody will be having a breakfast party, a meet at their restaurant where they like coffee and they like McDonald's breakfast menu. It's an energy here. Somebody wanted to burden somebody else with their debt. So this could have something to do with somebody using a business to hide money that they stole from somebody. They wanted somebody to be in debt, but really they're the ones in debt. Then we have the foster care program. We have somebody out here that likes to name call. I don't know why this came through, but it did, and I had to write it down. Somebody out here could have used the nickname Sheepdog. Somebody who have maybe thick bangs, or maybe somebody jealous of how your bangs look because they look better than theirs. I don't know. We do have the name Ebony Harris, Elaine Harris, Stephanie Roberts, Isha, nickname Illusion, because it was shown to me that these people, somebody was looking at pictures of somebody. And in this picture, this is how I know this was a metaphor for something. Because so basically somebody is very jealous. Like it's a bunch of older women, and then it's women that you could have, from your past. Divine feminine, divine masculine, take it how it resonate. But there's people just like petty. I'm gonna just say petty. Like sometimes that's how people are, petty. But I was shown a picture of an in particular person, and somebody, it's like, how can I say this? Because this was weird. It was like it was weird. Somebody has a very, what you call that? It's a certain type of haircut. Or somebody was picturing how you wear so many different hairstyles over the years. And you look good in all of your hairstyles. And somebody is like jealous of that. Somebody also has it's like somebody has a choppy hairstyle. It's like a pixie cut though, but it's a choppy pixie cut. or you could have had this hairstyle. This is part of the message specifically for a divine feminine. You have people from your past that is very pressed by you. They are. They think about you, you know, in different kinds of ways. I'm not even going to go into it, but we know how that goes, you know, good and bad. And some people just can't really get over, I guess, how successful you are, even though something these people could have stolen from you in different kinds of ways. It could have been energy, time, money. They could have been projecting onto you, you know, with illusions, because that's where the illusion, the nickname. Okay, so that's where we get into. So basically in this download, Spirit was showing me a picture of an in particular person. And I know who this person is because this is somebody from my past. And the hairstyle they had in their hair was very cute. It was like how my hair is right now, but not this hairstyle. But I want to say this person, Isha, I can see somebody looking at a picture of her. And she has a short bob, like a neck length bob. And it's a pixie cut, but it's like it's like not a pixie cut. It's like, well, it could be. No, pixie cuts are very short cuts, 3 inches or shorter. She had like a bob, a blunt bob that was layered though. It had texture in it. And the way it was shown to me, somebody was making fun. Yep, somebody was making fun of somebody's forehead because somebody could have a big forehead. And you know how you glue the tracks on to somebody's hair when they are getting a bob or a quick weave or pronto, which is called now, it's called a pronto. This person, somebody was fantasizing, making fun of somebody's like hairstyle. That's why I said the sheep dog bangs, because that's what Spirit, I guess that's what Spirit wanted me to say. So anyways, this person has like a big forehead, and basically I can see a track going across the forehead where there was space from the hair. This is how I know these people was making fun of somebody. And then the person had a bang. The hairstyle was actually cute, but somebody that don't like somebody with distorted, you know, visions was basically picturing somebody who had a cute hairstyle with an ugly hairstyle. That's what I was getting at. Somebody could have, in the past, used sheepdog, you know, called you a sheepdog because you have thick bangs. And I'm not going to cap. And it's crazy how this came out because I wasn't thinking about this like that. But in my past, when I was a younger person, I did grow up in foster care. And it's crazy because I actually saw these women in a download. All of these people in a download. These in particular women I saw were colluding and talking to one another. Y'all better watch out because there's about to be some things exposed. Okay, I already did a video and I talked about, and I don't know if I posted that video yet, but I talked about how somebody's crossed over ancestor, Venetia, had came to me in a download, in a dream, in a spirit. She's not the only person that comes to me that has crossed over. Quite a few people comes to me. Even my husband's mother comes to me sometimes. My own mother, biological mother, who had passed away. She comes to me at times. My grandmother, my mother's mother, who have passed away, and then my father's mother, who passed away about, I want to say, the ending of last year or whatever. They all come to me. Everybody in my family that have, my biological family that have passed over, even my dad, I've never seen my dad before, or my dad's dad. And I want to say last year, they all was coming to me, letting me know that they're here. And it's crazy because I always said that when we never really die, guys. No one, death is how can I, it's like made up, okay? like heaven and hell, like these things. And I can't go into that right now and explain to y'all why these, like how I know these things are made up. It's just made up to entrap your mind, to keep you in spiritual warfare with yourself. And this is why we have a lot of people in today's society, because of trauma, bad things that happen to people. And sometimes people can't let it go. People can't forgive. You know, they can't let a situation go and move on with their life. And this is why people find themselves stuck doing anything for money, stealing, unaliving people, taking on other people's identities who are successful. It's a lot of that going on. And it's time, Spirit is saying it's time for that to just, Spirit is tired of it, okay? And it's like there's shifts going on because it's time for a change. Spirit, it's time for change. The collective is tired of seeing the world and people in the state that they are. When trauma happens, you're supposed to learn from it. You're not supposed to allow yourself to get bitter and get upset and hold grudges with people. You are supposed to learn from the things that happen to you, good or bad. But 99% of people are not learning. They're not. They say that they forgive people, but they really don't. They go through life punishing and doing messed up things and projecting lies and illusions onto other people. Like, I'm going to use myself for an example. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this foster care person that I grew up with. And it's crazy because her name is Stephanie Roberts, or she goes by Stephanie Miller. Her name is actually Stephanie Denise Roberts or Stephanie Denise Miller. This is her best friend, Elaine Harris. Okay? When I was in foster care, when I first met this lady, my first impression of her was like, this woman got a lot of kids. Like, how in the world am I supposed to have this experience of a mother and a father? And I wasn't blaming her for anything, but this is how I thought. And I just knew right then that the system is just, I don't know. I guess the system is doing the best that it can do. You know, I don't know. But I thought that when I actually liked living where I was at originally, because it wasn't a lot of kids. It was just, so my first placement was with a white family. And I want to say their names was Judy and Jim. They were very nice people. I had no problems with them. I had other foster siblings. I want to say, I remember their biological daughter name was Joy. And I think she had a husband named Doug. And then, I remember I had a sister of color, because it was a diverse it was a diverse home that I lived in. And I liked it that. And I stayed out in the country where I liked living in the country actually more than I liked living in the city. So I liked living in the country around the woods and the environment. And I want to say we stayed in, was it Maple Heights or Maple Town, or it was something like that. And we stayed off in the cut in a nice ranch style house. I had their biological daughter was named Joy. I believe she had a husband named Doug. And I still think about them to this day. I wonder, and I ride in that neighborhood, but I just can't remember. For whatever reason, it wasn't meant for me to go back. But I found out it was a temporary home. They didn't tell me that at first. But I found out it was a temporary home. I was only there for 30 days until they found a permanent place. So when I lived with Judy and Jim, they have a foster children that they had adopted. One girl was a girl of color. Her name was Sonia. And then I had a sister who was white. And I liked it that. I did. And her name was Crystal. And then it was me. So all together it was 3, girls. 4 girls, but the biological daughter, she didn't live in the home with us. She had her own home, her own husband, but she will always come by and And she would always come by, check up on her parents. And she didn't judge me. I felt love in that home. I did. I felt belonged. Judy and Jim was much older parents. I think I was 13 when I was placed with them. I believe Judy and Jim, they were like in their 50s. But I enjoyed it. Her name was Charlotte. I hope she's still alive to this day. I hope one day, because she was adopted by them, and Sonia was adopted by them. And that was the first time when my 30 days came up. That was the first time. Damn, taking me back to my emotions. That was the first time I felt like I belonged. And then when they told me that this was just a temporary situation a day of, it was kind of like, whew, I thought I had already dealt with this. But I guess not. So when it was time, when my 30 days expired, because at the time I did not know that it was 30 days. I didn't know. I didn't know until the day of, when the father came into my room and he told me that basically they found a place for me. And I was confused because they never told me, you know, that this was just a temporary place. And I felt like that was my home, but I guess it really wasn't. So I ended up going into a different home. And as you know, sometimes when children are being removed from home to home, it does cause like emotional disruption and things of that nature. And that was one of the things that I had to go through. I didn't understand really why I had to go through that, because I always thought like I have my own family, and I just kept thinking about like, dang, you know, what did I, you know, do, or what did I do wrong, you know, to be in this situation. So I had to like change my perspective a lot when I was a kid, or not so much change my perspective because I didn't even know what that meant. I had to, how can I say it? Survival mode is what I want to say. I went into instant survival mode. When my dad came down, it's crazy because I remember this. I could never forget it. And I was hurting a lot emotionally because my family failed me. They did. But like I said, all is forgiven. I don't hold any grudges against anybody. I have forgiven a lot of people, and I have moved on with my life, because that's all you really can do is just move on, you know. So anyways, I went to when that father, I think his name was Jim, he came and told me that it was my last day. I remember I was very upset. He gave me some bags where I could pack, you know, whatever clothes that I had. And then some caseworkers came and got me. And then they took me to this lady's house, Stephanie Roberts, also known as Stephanie Miller. And like I said, when I first went into her home, I noticed she had a lot of kids. And I was thinking to myself like, dag, so I was taken from a home where I had a mother and a father, And now I'm being brought here. And I was thinking like, dang, this is a lot of kids. And I really didn't want to be, I just didn't want, it wasn't nothing personal against her or her kids or anything like that. It's just how I felt. And I didn't want to be around a lot of people. I wanted to have peace in my life. I wanted to be around more quietness and just peace, you know. But anyways, God had other plans for me. So I ended up adopting two, because like I said, I'm a survivor, you know. I could adapt to any environment. I guess that's what I started finding out about myself. And eventually I kind of blended in with this family. And everything was cool at first. I used to call my biological family and, you know, and tell them, you know, talk to my grandmother after a while, not at first, but after a while, once they maybe not, yep. I was actually crazy about this lady. And I used to always like this lady right here that I first moved in with. But then something happened. I don't know what happened. Something changed. And then she just started being very rude towards me. I asked to be removed from her home, and they will never basically remove me from her home. Everything that I knew that was best for me, it was like I was always being told by some adult who's not even in my shoes, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that. And it just got to a point. And the reason why I wanted to leave her home is because for one, she was always projecting onto me negativity, things that she'd been through in her life. She was constantly in my ear about I just didn't like her anymore. She was I just didn't like her anymore. And really what made me not like her is that her son, she had a son, a biological son that was also in this home with her. And her son would do things. It was okay for him to treat me however, whatever. But then if I defend myself or speak up about something, it was a problem. And it was a double standard in her home. Her son could do whatever he wanted to do and have no consequences. But if me and her daughters did things, we will be punished. And it would be for dumb things. Like, it would be silly stuff. It really was. And it just got to a point where I felt like I was being bullied by this woman. It got to a point where I really thought about physically hurting this woman. And I wanted to be removed from her home. Okay. I remember they would go to psychics, especially she would, trying to find out things about me. At least that's what, I'm not going to say this, but well, I can't say this because Venetia is gone now. But there was a conversation that my cousin Venetia had walked in on that her mother and my foster mom was having. And she was like, man, you know your mother. And she told me this in secret. She said, and I never told nobody until, you know, now she's passed on, I could speak on this. And she was like, yeah, she was like, man, I overheard a conversation. She was like, please don't go back and say anything to my mother or your mom about it. And it's crazy because me and Venetia both are Pisces. Venetia, I believe, is a second decan in Pisces, and I'm a third decan in Pisces. I'm a cusper. But she came to me and was like, Nikki, man, your mother, man, she be going to psychics. She's trying to find out things about you in secret. And I'm like, at first I didn't even know what a psychic was, but intuitively, as she was telling me, I realized what a psychic was. And she was saying how she overheard my foster mother tell her mother is Elaine Harris. She said that my mother told her mom, my foster mother told her mom, that the psychic lady told her that one of her children either has been sexually assaulted or is going to be sexually assaulted. And then it was something else that was said that my cousin overheard, and she came back and told me. I can't remember what it was. Oh, yes, and something was buried in our backyard where we used to live before we had relocated out of state. Okay. And I will never forget when we moved to Georgia. Me personally, I like to take long baths or showers, and I don't know why. I've always been that way ever since I was a child. I've always took long baths and showers. I like the water. And I remember her friend, they was cracking jokes, talking about, because one day I was in the shower, and I think I was in the shower for maybe an hour or something. And I could hear, when I came out the shower, her friend Elaine happened to be there at the house when we had relocated from another state to another state. We had relocated, and we all lived in the same condo complex, which was called Hidden Glen. I don't know if it's still called Hidden Glen, but it's located in Marietta, Georgia, off of Cobb Parkway, right next door to the Acura dealership. And I believe that place was called Hidden Glen. We went to Wheeler High School. That's where I graduated from. So, anyways, you know, it's funny, you know. Things that make you cry, make you laugh. I went through a lot with people, because people was just always, you know, like to pick, you know, and it happens, you know. But that's what my cousin had told me. So anyways, I was taking a shower one night, and I think I was in there for like an hour, and then her friend Elaine thought that it was fun, you know, to make fun, like, oh, what, you was in the shower for long, who had, and I will never forget this, and it pissed me off. It pissed me off, and I started looking at her, and I just was like, man, I cannot wait till I become of age and get the fuck out of this, because I was to the point, the things that they thought was funny, like, I remember I told y'all, I just said that my cousin had told me that she walked in and overheard a conversation between her mom and my mom. And my mom was telling her friend Elaine how, oh, I went to go visit this tarot card reader, and the lady said that one of my daughters or my kids is going to be raped or has been raped. So her being arrogant, she automatically assumed that it was me. So her friend basically was cracking jokes about me being raped and sexually assaulted. And they really thought that that was funny. And I didn't think it was funny at all. This is the second time Elaine had crossed me. The first time she crossed me, this is what made me stop liking my foster mother. I forgot all about this because so much has happened. Me being in a foster care system, a lot has happened. But I kind of fought my family because, like I said, my grandmother had the money to take care of me. She wanted to steal from me. That's basically what it was. And shipped me off to foster care. So anyhow, she was making jokes about me being hemmed up in somebody's apartment, and basically that's why I was taking a long bath, taking a long shower, because I was sexually assaulted. And she was projecting that onto me, and it pissed me off. That was the second time she crossed me. The first time she crossed me, and this is what made me stop liking my foster mother, and I had reported this incident, and nothing was done. So anyhow, but karma is a bitch, you know. Karma is a bitch, and then people wonder why I walk away from them. And I don't care for you. I don't. And I'm speaking on this because this is something that happened. Unnecessary trauma. And this is what I be talking about. And I have healed from this. Like, I don't hold no grudges against them. But this is why things have been, ever since I left these people, this is why things have been happening. Domino effect. Okay. So the first incident that I had with Elaine Harris, when I was 13 years old, this grown ass woman thought that she was going to put her hands on me, like how she put her hands on her other foster kids. She used to beat Michael. I will never forget that. They used to do things to humiliate the foster kids. And it was like, and that's what I did not like. It was a double standard. It was a straight up double standard. It was. And it's like, treat the foster kids bad, but these are your kids, and you're supposed to treat them. You're supposed to treat everybody with the same equality, the same thing, just like how you would treat your children. But it's not like that. And these be the same people that say they believe in God and I'll be thinking to myself, what God are you serving? Like, I don't get this. So Stephanie kids was even jealous of me. Yes, and this is at first. They were. She had another daughter. We got along good. But like I said, that relationship ended up ending because at the end of the day, it was all fake. You know, this lady, too, was a control freak at that, too. And that was another thing. She was mad because she could never control me. Even though I lived with her for like 7 years, she wanted to control me. And I'm a Pisces. I could never be controlled. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do when I want to do it. And that's just what it is. And we bumped heads a lot because she always liked to pick with me. She did. And she got a kick out of that. And she thought that I was going to feed into her bullshit. And I didn't. And I told myself, I said, the next time this lady put her motherfucking hands on me, I'm going to knock this bitch the fuck out. Because I've had it with this lady and her accusing me of things like that I never did. But because, you know, that's what she did. I remember one of her foster children that I grew up with had reached out to me. And she got mad. And I guess she called herself having her people call me and confront me. I hung up on her mother. I sure did. I hung up because it's like, bitch, I'm a grown-ass motherfucking woman now. I'm not no fucking kid. Y'all not going to talk to me any kind of way. You come correct or don't come motherfucking at all. If y'all want these hands, if y'all want me to bless you with these hands, I will. And a bitcher is trick. I said a bitcher. And a bitch will shoot you. I'm not playing with people. I never was playing with people. And I don't know why people thought it was cool to play with me the way they did. So that's why I don't argue with people, because one thing about me, I can get real violent real quick. Like some shit out of a thriller movie. Okay? So don't play with me. This is why I've mastered how to have control over my emotions, because my mother wasn't nothing to play with. Okay? My mother was very ruthless and cutthroat. And she's an Aries. April Fool's Day is her birthday. My mother will act a fucking fool. But it's just people that be hurt from their own pain. They like to project that. And I went through this with this lady. I guess she had bad marriages or bad relationships. Her mother used to get her ass whooped by her father and all of this. And I remember she used to always project that shit onto me, talking about, yeah, these niggas ain't shit. And I just used to look at her like, That's what you're manifesting because you keep saying that. But she was projecting that onto me. She wanted me to hate men, period. And it's like it just irritated me. It did. And then when I would go on dates and she would see things that guys was buying me and doing for me, she will automatically assume, oh, you're having sex with these dudes. No, bitch, you have to have sex and suck dick to get rent paid and do all of this dumb shit. I don't have to do none of that. Because first of all, I hold myself with values. I have morals. I'm not out here teaching other people's children that men ain't shit and that you're gullible. This is what she used to always, oh, you're gullible. No, you mad because you think I'm sexually active. And that was another thing. She just was so confident. And she even told people, this got back to me. She even told people that I was having sex in her home and doing stuff. No, that was your son Raymond having sex in your home, bitch. I never did no shit. And this is what I'm saying. It was okay for her son. And this is what I be saying about women, how y'all create the problems because y'all have double standards. It's okay for your son to smash somebody else's daughter, but can't nobody smash your daughter. You see, y'all get what I'm saying about that? That's a double standard. If you don't want your daughters having sex, which to me, I didn't care about sex. I was not out here sexually active. Your daughter Taya, your daughter Nisha, and your son, they were all sexually active. I was never sexually active like that. Never. But this is stuff that she was going around telling people. And then I found out too that she was even putting my high school friends, well, Raymond's high school friends, up to like spying on me and reporting back to her if they saw me talk. And I know this to be true because I'm not going to say this person's name, but it was a female. When I had moved back to the state that we had moved from, I ended up running into this person. And this person flat out told me how she had a big crush on my brother, Raymond. That's his name. And she was like, man, I was so in love with him. And I used to just look at her like, and she's a Pisces too. And I'd be like, honey, if you live with, I mean, Raymond really wasn't a bad person. It's just that when I look back on stuff, I mean, he really wasn't a bad person. The only thing, he was intimidated by me because I was older than him. And then he used to try to put on this persona with his mother like this bully. And I used to be like, nigga, dude, I will knock your head. I will say some shit to you that will fuck your world up. You better stop what you're doing. You better leave me the fuck alone. But really, he had a little crush on me. It was just, he was just a young man and he needed his father in his life. And unfortunately, for whatever reasons, she didn't want his father to have anything to do with him, but it was okay for Taya to go visit her father and visit. It was just, this lady was weird, strange, traumatized, and was projecting all of her nonsense onto me. I never heard her, the negative advice she gave me, I never heard her talk like this to her own kids. And that's what pissed me off. That's why I always felt like the government was in on a lot of things. But I don't depend on the government for anything. So let's hop into a tarot card reading. It's crazy how these broads came up. And I don't even deal with these people in real life. But I do know behind the scenes they are always talking about me. They got pictures and stuff of me. Always in my fucking business. And bitch, shut up and get on with y'all old ass lives, man. I look way better than y'all than what y'all did at my age. And that's because of how I take care of myself. You have Mother Gaia energy. Okay, Mother Gaia. You have ancestors, the universe. Looking out. Yeah. Yeah. Confirmation that you is telling some truth. You're telling truth. Page of Wands has to deal with giving favorable testimony. talking about something that happened to you that you know for a fact to be a truth. And here we go, right here with the Page of Wands. You're standing in your power again. Mother energy, Mother Gaia. You are an ancient soul who have lived many past lives. That's how that's coming out. Okay, this came up in reverse. The Artist in reverse. Okay, so the Artist, I feel like that's Ophiuchus energy. Yep. So by you speaking some truth, and this is this is very major. This is a truth that needed to be spoken. Whatever the situation or the people you speaking about, they are in some unstable energy. They was judgmental towards you, and it's also showing that they're in restless energy. Like, again, they're unstable, and these were greedy people that you was dealing with. This is why this foster mother had all of these kids, and that was the first thing I noticed about her. She had, first of all, she had 3 of her own biological, and I was thinking, how is this legal? Like, how can a mother take on all of this responsibility? And I noticed she did not have, there was no father figure in the home. And I want to say, the 7 years I lived with this woman, she had 6 dicks in between that ass. And I'm going to keep it all the way 100 because that's what it was. And I can name them. The first one was Ed. The second, and Ed, I'll never forget this. She said, yeah, I just used that nigga to pay my pager bill. I think he paid some type of bill that she had. She was fucking with different niggas because of different things that she was putting witchcraft on them so they could do. And a lot of men don't understand this. The power of the Pussy. Y'all think it's just because of the pussy. No, it's witchcraft, my nigga. That's what it really is. But hey, I didn't say nothing because, hey, if y'all want to be stupid, be stupid. But I remember the first dude was Ed. The second dude was Dominique. Yes, the second dude was Dominique. The third dude was Michael, who was supposed to have been Antonio's like mentor or like a father role model to Antonio, aka Dukes. That's what we used to call him. Yes. Then when we moved to another state, she started dating another Michael. Then that didn't work out. Then she started fucking around with this man named Tony. Then when that didn't work out, she started fucking with this other dude named Raymond, who actually worked for the government. He was like a private, he worked, I can't talk about that because I remember him saying that whatever he did for the government, he was like deep into the CIA. He really couldn't talk. I mean, she done had so many dudes, like, and it's like you're unstable. And here it goes. Unstable, greedy. Somebody that's very judgmental of others but don't have their own shit together. Somebody who depends on the government again to take care of them and provide. Not only was she dependent on the government and foster care, other people's children that they didn't want. And that was another thing, God. Oh my God. She used to tell me, when I was a kid, that's why your family didn't want you. And that's why you in foster care. Because your family didn't want you. You always gonna need me. And oh, it was things that she would say that pissed the spirit off. And oh my gosh. It was yes. This is very major. This is the same person that's behind the scenes in your energy. These women in your energy projecting onto you. With the Knight of Cups. Pretending like they cared about you and they loved you when there was never no love. It was just a check. Because that's what you said, remember? That's what you said. That's why, and it's crazy because your kids ate off of the foster kids. Who was the foster kids? Nicole, Shannon, DJ, but DJ ended up going back to his biological family, Kelvin, Dukes, and Sade. And then there was another young lady that lived with her. I think her name was Mercelin or Marilyn, but she was only there for a short time. She ended up getting removed. But yeah. And then when I left, oh, she was pissed. Because she just knew I was going to be living with her. Bitch, you got me fucked up. The fuck up out of here, honey. When I got a certain age, I got legal age, I packed my shit and bounced with no fucking warning. I left. And that's why they mad. And then she tried to get away with stealing money from me. Yes, she did. I didn't find out about it until I came back. And my caseworker at the time, whose name was Latanya Dean. Her son name is Greg Dean. He's a famous barber up here where I'm from. Yup, see? It's being recognized. The betrayal. How greedy this foster parent and her friend was. And they used to just, her and her friend, they used to try to humiliate the foster kids. Make us, we already feel some type of way because of our own situations. But may Michael's soul rest in peace. And they will always crack stupid, nasty little jokes. And they got a kick out of this. They thought this shit was funny. They did. And now these bitches broke, busted, still depending on other people to take care of them. Yes. Children dying because of how you treated somebody else's child. People don't understand. Karma is a bitch. And God has a way of making people suffer and pay when they commit unlawful acts and rude to people when you don't have to be. Somebody is watching you. These people do watch you. They got somebody keeping tabs on you to report back to them. Here we go again. Yep, they watching you in your power. Page of Swords. You are speaking some truth. They do watch you from afar. From a great distance, they watch you. Mother energy. And that's why the whale is out here. These are mother energies as well, too. Whether they have their own children. Well, one of them, they don't have any kids anymore because their kid died like 2 years ago. And it's crazy because this energy this energy was coming up that somebody had a child. And this was part of karma. Because these women are witches. Yep. And this was coming up. I did this reading like maybe in 22, 23. And it was in August. It was like in July and August when I talked about somebody being sick with cancer. And this was a punishment because of witchcraft that was done. Karma is a bitch. What you do when you take on a responsibility of providing for somebody else, you treat them kids just like they're your own. But that's not what these people did. They thought it was okay to belittle somebody else, to make fun of somebody else. Let's say if I was sexually assaulted. You thought it was funny to make fun of that? If I did some shit like that to you, you wouldn't have liked it. No, you wouldn't have. But you've been sitting back, studying, taking notes. Also, too, these people are watching you. And this is, you know what you know from experience. And then you know what you know from what spirit have shown you. I know these women watch me because I have downloads about them. And I can see the Stephanie, I can see her mad as hell. And the reason why she mad is because she thought that she was going to use me and get away with that. I cut that check off quick. Bitch, you ain't getting paid for me. You ain't getting paid for me living in this motherfucker. I'm getting the fuck up out of here because, bitch, I don't need you. You need me. And she was mad as fuck when I came back to Cleveland. And the reason why I know she was mad, because all of this happened this happened July 28th, 1999. Her mother and this lady Elaine called me. What was it? It was 2012 when I started my Facebook thing, and all of a sudden all of these people from my past, you know, and I was befriending them. And then one of the children, and I want to say her name is Sade Miller, she reached out to me and she was like, I remember you. You used to live with us. And she was like, I have been asking mother, you know, all of this time what had happened to you, because she was like, one minute you was there and then it was like you just disappeared and nobody, and she's not the only person that has told me this. Other people too that grew up with me or were close friends with me came to me and said the same thing too. And they were saying, we've been asking her all of these years, where did you go? Like, it was like you just vanished. And I told them, I said, I had to get the fuck up out of that lady's house. I got tired. I was tired of this lady. I started having thoughts of physically harming this lady because the stuff that she allowed to go on. The first strike was when her friend Elaine jumped on me and she stood there and watched. I'm 13 years old. And me and Elaine got into a fist for fist. Yes, the fuck we did. 13 years old, and this 30, 40-year-old lady gets up in my face. I will never forget that day. Even though, like I said, she ended up apologizing to me. She did. But because she realized I'm not one of them fucking kids like how you did Michael and Faith, and how you did the other foster kids that lived with you. She used to beat these kids up, literally. And this is why I say the government don't give a fuck about what's going on. You can report this shit, they will. And this is why a lot of people who put their kids in foster care, they end up suing the government because of trauma that happens to their children. People trusting you to take care of their kids. You're getting paid to do this. And then you want to humiliate somebody's kid. You want to add more trauma onto somebody and what they already. And this is why I say they need to do a reassessment of foster care, period. Single parents should not be foster care parents because they are solely dependent. And I am so glad they changed that, because back in the day, anybody could be a parent. This lady had like 6 different niggas around us. I don't know if them, and then that was another thing she was mad about. Her boyfriends would sometimes go out of their way and do stuff for the kids, and especially the foster kids, and that will piss her off. With my foster, I would never forget this. One time, her boyfriend Michael, the second Michael that had the pretty eyes, he had hazel gray or hazel brown eyes, and I remember one day, he reached in his pocket. He also taught me how to drive. He used to own, I don't know if he still do to this day, but back then he owned a 1967 Mustang. And we ended up moving to Atlanta. And he was teaching me how to drive. She got mad at this man because I'm 17 and he was teaching me how to drive. But it was okay for your son Raymond to take your car and total your car. And you didn't say nothing about that. But this man took his own car. She was mad because her boyfriend was teaching me how to drive. Not only did she get mad about that, she also was mad because he also gave me money one time when I was going out of town to visit my biological family. Pissed her off. And she like, oh, you gonna sit up here and give her money like that in front of my face, and you know the light bill is due? Or it was something she had said, but it really wasn't about that. It was about the fact that he went out of his way to do something kind for me, and that boiled her blood. But I bet you if he would have did that for Tyre or Raymond, you wouldn't have said nothing about that. I'm telling you, these old ass women stay in my energy. They talk shit about me. But in real life, I will stomp the dog shit out of these bitches. I really would. I really would. Because I know the energy. Yep, a king of cups. So you're showing up as a king of cups energy. Somebody who is kind, nice, devoted, hardworking, loving, intuitive as well too, and have the gift of foresight. You wear the crown. And I feel like they always knew this when I was a kid. I always got compliments. People liked the way I dressed. Oh, people knew I stood apart. I remember one friend that I grew up with. This is when we moved to Georgia and we was at Wheeler. And I remember, I think her name was Amisha King. And she said something to me like one day she pulled me aside and she was like, why are you always wearing designer stuff? And I just looked at her. I didn't frown my face, but this is what she said to me and I will never forget it. She was like, I noticed that, you know, your brothers and sisters and them like Taya and Raymond, they don't be wearing like you, basically saying that I come to school sharp as fuck and I dress very nice. And she was like, you always wearing designer stuff and whoop-de-whoop. And I said, well, and I made it clear, that's not my biological family. I'm a foster child. I'm different. I'm not, and she will get, and that's another thing that will piss her off. This lady, Stephanie, she will get mad when I tell people that she's not my biological mother. Well, you should have thought about that when you said the insulting things to me. See, I mirror back the same energy. See, people don't understand about Pisces. We are very intuitive people. We are psychic. We have the gift of foresight. I'm not saying all of it. Well, really we do, but some of us don't really tap into it or understand it. We're very intuitive people. So we pretty much know what the fuck is going on before. And like I said, this mother was nothing but a tramp. And I'm going to just call it what it is. That's exactly what she was. A tramp, a hot ass, highly sexual, and be projecting that shit. Because I remember so much this lady said to me. Like, I remember, and I used to be like, where's all of this coming from? But I forgot. She was very sexual. She did. And that's why she always stayed having a man every year. She could not keep a man for no longer than a year and a half. And I lived with her for 7 years. And 6 different men, like I said, been up in that. And she never allowed herself to heal between relationships. She jumped in one relationship, then on to the next, on to the next. And that's how she is. And it was either her way or the highway. And I remember her saying that. And I remember all of her friends were very sexual. They dressed sexy. Everything was about sex. They always dress sexy, highly provocative with the way they, not saying, yes. I remember Pat, the one friend that looked like Mary J. Blige. She used to have the long nails like SWV. And then the other friend, Kat. Oh, I like Kat. I liked all my foster mother friends, but I really just didn't care for her because of her attitude towards me. Yep, 2 of Swords. Something about you being comfortable. It came out. Being comfortable. With whatever. Yeah, being comfortable. This is about you being comfortable. Okay, now this is talking about, yep, you're comfortable with your legacy, with whatever it is you're doing. You got people, you have a bunch of women, mother energies watching you. See, I pulled out the Ebony Harris card, the Elaine Harris, Stephanie Roberts, Stephanie Miller, and then Aisha, the illusion card. They're behind the scenes creating illusions. Yep. They know that you are a boss, Queen of Wands. See, these people get, and I remember, I never forget this. My foster mother used to say stuff like, oh, I'll help you get your, because she knew I wanted to be a hairstylist. And she would always say things like, I'm going to help you get your salon. I'm going to help you. And I used to look at you like, nah, bitch, I don't want you helping me do shit. I'm getting the fuck up out of your house. You ain't never got to worry about me again. But it doesn't matter because it's been all these years later and these mother energies are still behind the scenes thinking about you, talking about you. Y'all should have never played y'all hand the way y'all did with somebody like me. And that's just real. Now, Elaine, one thing I can say about Elaine, She did apologize, you know, for, and I don't, like I said, I don't hold, even my foster mother, she never apologized. I don't hold no grudges against these women. But the truth is the truth. And I stand on that shit. Like Taya, like my foster sister Taya Shanae Roberts, no, bitch, I got these hands. And if you thought I was lethal when I was a child, I'm way, way more lethal now as an adult. Cause honey, it's just deep. You know, it's yep. They mad because you get what you want. And these women don't. These women are old. They up in their age. They feel like they should be much further in life. Oh, I hear that a lot. When they look at me, they feel like, oh, I should be. But it's really competition. That's really what it is. It's competition. People be in competition with kids, grown-ass women, grown-ass men, be in competition with the younger generation. Y'all need to grow the fuck up. Y'all supposed to be examples. That's why I don't look up to people. I don't have a mentor. I'm not out here chasing or trying to be like nobody else because I don't want to be like nobody else but me. So I'm a go into this book and I'm just going to read because you have you have 2 major arcana cards out here. Spirit, what it's showing with the well, this was an idea somebody came up with, somebody's brainstorming. This is dealing with mankind. So basically this download that you received this morning about these people came from an ancestor. This is about the human condition. And what did I just say? Humans. People who are not healed from their own trauma, and how the older generation be projecting onto the younger generation when these are lessons supposed to be healed. I remember my foster mother telling me stuff, projecting onto me about how her father used to beat the fuck out of her mother and how they had to escape from Philly to come to Cleveland. And she talked about how her mother, she never really got attention from her mother because I guess her mother had to work and she was with an abusive man that was violent and whoop-de-woo. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that's the past. Like, why are you like, I'm not going to cap. When she used to tell me these things, I used to think to myself, like, this is trauma bonding. Like, you're trying to trauma bond with me. And that's why I just didn't listen. I listened, but I let it go in one ear and out the other. And I remember everything this lady told me. And I used to look at her like, it's sad. You're not healed. You're holding a grudge. Mad with your father. This is why your son couldn't have a relationship with his own dad. And I got a chance to talk to Taya's dad, me and Taya both. And Taya's dad basically said that the reason why y'all really not together is because you chose you were favoritism. You showed favoritism with Raymond and Taya. Raymond and Taya have the same dad. And they look just like him. Taya looks more like her dad and Raymond looks more like his mom. But the father basically said, and I overheard this because I was in the back seat and I was listening to what he was saying to Taya. And Taya basically was listening to her dad. And some things I ignored because I felt like that's their family business. I had nothing to do with me. Whoop-de-woo. But the father basically said, and Taya know how her mama is. She know the truth. But you got some kids that will still go along with their parents, even though they know their parents wrong as fuck. And they'll never tell their parents, oh, you know, my mother or my father was wrong for that. They shouldn't have did that. I know a lot of people that's like that. They know what their parents do is wrong, but they won't bite the hand that feeds them. And I'm going to just call it what it is. Anyways, it's still talking about human conditions, talking about how people project trauma onto other people when these are things we're supposed to learn from. So this well is talking about the mothers Ebony Harris is a mother. Elaine Harris. Stephanie Roberts, Stephanie Miller, Aisha, the illusion card. These are all mothers. You're receiving downloads when you, okay, so basically what I'm getting is that I received this message because these people are constantly in my energy. They think about me. And I guess they think about the wrong that they have done. A mother figure in particularly who was greedy, not satisfied with life. These women are going through judgment because of their greediness, their obsession with being greed. Yeah, because I told you, my foster mother, she used to tell me, oh, I'm going to help you get your salon. But it was all, I'm thinking to myself, lady, I do not need your help to get this business, honey. I am going to, and I ended up having my own business. I had my own salon, but I let it go. I still do it, but I let the salon part go because I feel like in my own personal, for me, I'm not about to pay somebody else. You're not about to make money off of me getting rich, charging me ridiculous prices to have a salon. And that's another thing I noticed. People be trying to get over on people who are already successful because they feel like, well, you got money, why you can't help me or do, and see me, I use my one of my properties as my salon, and all I got to worry about is property taxes. And where I live at, my property taxes is only a couple of $1,000s a year. As versus a business, when I had my business, I was spending, oh my gosh, I spent like $20,000, over $20,000 a year in rent, compared to a couple of $1,000s a year. I would rather pay $5,000 a year in taxes than to pay $20,000 a year in rent. Make it make sense. And I feel like we live in a society where people who are not visionaries, are not dreamers, they're not naturally creative. And the reason why you're not naturally creative is because you're still stuck on trauma and things that happened in your past. Whatever you project, you will reap. Whatever seeds you sow. And if y'all wondering why I'm no longer with Stephanie, here's why. She was a mean, cruel, nasty woman. Up first, she appears to be friendly. She does. I was crazy about this woman when I first moved in with her. I was. My family will tell you this. But then as things started unfolding and her true colors started showing out, how greedy she was, all she cared about was money. She was hustling men that she was with, and I think that's why she stayed having a man every year and a half, because the men will catch on after a while to who she really was, and they will leave her alone. Or they didn't want to, she was basically tricking herself out to have money, but making it seem like, oh, this is a good relationship. And then bringing up the past, living in the past, talking about how her mother, I never saw her mother act like this, have all these different lovers. I only know of 2 men that her mother been with, and that was Grandpa Pete, and when he died, she was single for a long time. And then she ended up dating somebody else and I guess getting remarried all over again. I don't know, but I never saw Evelyn behave like this. But anyways, blessings to everybody. But we are definitely dealing with mother figures. There is a mother figure out here that the Page of Wands. Somebody with the Page of Wands is because I already know what it means. I just like to show y'all. Yep. These mothers are watching you. Because we got the page of wands out here and the page of swords. This is talking about these people are watching and surveillancing somebody. And this is why the universe gave me these downloads, because he wanted me to know that these people are watching me. They're watching you, collective. I already know about the secret meetings. I already know about the debt. I've been known about it. I'm just playing the game just like y'all are. Whoever this mother figure is, it's something about a wish fulfillment something that they feel entitled. This entitlement energy. So I feel that. Somebody is putting the work in to be greedy because they're under judgment. A Knight of Cups, somebody who wants to be perceived as loving, caring. Because the Artist in reverse talks about somebody being unstable. So whoever these women are that I mentioned, this energy and this masculine, they are all unstable and they're under some type of judgment because they've been relentlessly judging. They've been harassing somebody spiritually. They're not doing this to your face, but they don't realize you have gifts. You see what the fuck they're doing. You already know what these people are about. And whatever you have already spoken, because you're a mother too. And whatever you've spoken, it's caused, these people are under judgment and it's causing a lot of instability against them because of their own restlessness towards greediness, working to attain something. Could be money, but money it's not showing up that it's, well, yes, it is with the Ten of Pentacles. I feel like these people are also a part of a debt, of a stolen inheritance, a legacy. They all receive some type of money. And I'm not going to cap. It's taking me back to a download that I had where I saw my biological cousin meeting up with my foster mother. Remember, I said they like having meetings at McDonald's, showing up early in the morning. This could also mean having meetings early in the morning, having cakes, you know, coffee, drinking over coffee or whatever it is people like to eat for breakfast. But this is definitely about greed and people being under judgment and experiencing a lot of instability in their life. This is very important. That's what this is about. A bunch of mother figures who were greedy. Yep. Acting like they're the Knight of Cups, like loving, caring people, and that's not who they are. They're greedy people. Obsessed with money. And that's exactly what my foster mother was. That's all she talked about was money. And how she gonna use these niggas before they get her. Yep. This is also talking about you have healed from this. And it's being recognized. You are being guided by spirit. Like I say, there's ancestors in this message too. That's how you receive this message. You were basically guided to step into this masculine energy. Yep, you was guided to step into your masculine energy because you are naturally creative, intuitive, passionate, attractive. You're comfortable with the legacy that you're leaving behind because you are an entrepreneurial spirit. And you are making your wishes and your dreams a reality. Then it could be too somebody, but that's not what I saw last night. That's not what I saw last night. Spirits showed me how these people was in my energy, talking shit, trying to make fun of a hairstyle that I used to wear or you used to wear. Remembering how they talked about you and called you out your name. Yeah, y'all gonna have to live with that. Yep. You're showing up as attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying the moment. Very soon, healing of family issues. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if you're going to come in contact with some people that you was a part of a family dynamic or something is being healed. Spirits say stay optimistic about your love life. Yep, stay optimistic about your love life. Things are getting better emotionally. Yep. Because these people are watching you behind the scenes. There's some mother figures watching you behind the scenes. They under judgment. Somebody wants to come in and heal something with you. That's basically what this is about. This message is about some wrong that was done to you a long time ago by people who are in your energy that watch you. And they see basically how amazing your life, how you turned out. You could have been in a foster care system. You could have, somebody who was stealing from McDonald's. That's crazy because my brother Raymond, I completely forgot about this. He did when we moved down to when we moved to Georgia. My foster mother both told us, we had to both get jobs. Cool. Didn't have a problem with that. My first job was Taco Bell, and I love Taco Bell. And my brother's first job, Raymond, was McDonald's. And I remember this. It ended up coming out that I guess he was hooking up with somebody else who worked at McDonald's. Not hooking up like romantically, but what I mean is that they was helping each other steal time from McDonald's. I will never forget this. And he ended up getting fired from that job. Because it was found out that him and another coworker was helping each other steal time. Oh, they're going through a tower. Yep. I told you the judgment, the artists in reverse, they're under judgment for what they did against you and what they still continue to do today. Because I also found out when I moved back up here, I found out that the foster care system gave me like $300 of graduation money. I found out my foster mother, I had no idea they even sent me this money, but I found this out when I moved back up here. And my foster mother was basically forced to resign from the foster care. And I think that's what she's mad about, because that's how she really made her money. So when the dick wasn't coming through, she was getting it off of the kids. And I feel like, and I always knew this, and you know what? It's crazy because they were shocked to even find out that she would do something. I said, I've been trying to tell y'all, this lady ain't shit. Y'all think that this lady is this and that because she's cute, attractive, got a nice body. She has the gift of gab. She's an Aquarius. Look up Aquarius. They're naturally friendly people. But this in particular, every Aquarius I met always was a fucking loser. And I've only met maybe 3. Actually, nah. Yeah, I have met 3 Aquariuses that I know of. My foster mother's Aquarius. She wasn't shit. My uncle was an Aquarius. He wasn't shit. And then, like I said, they either thieves or crackheads or tramps. I'm telling you, I've never met an Aquarius. And I've never met in an Aquarius that was a good person like how I am. And I'm just telling you, I'm being honest. I've never met one. They've always had, they either crackheads, and that's what they do. They use their friendliness. That's a part of the magic, the mask that they wear, because they're very friendly, sociable people. And that's one thing I can't give it up. My foster mother is a very friendly person. She is. And she comes off as bubbly, you know, having it all together. And she's a nice looking woman, you know. But when you really get to know her and them traumas that she has not healed come out, and see, that's what I'm like. Don't get me wrong. I'm attracted to the spirit that's in people, not what's on the outside. I've never been a superficial person. I am a deep motherfucking person. And that's why a lot of people can't vibe with Pisces, because Pisces, we see past people's bullshit, and we don't well, I'm not going to say I don't sugarcoat nothing. I tell the truth, and I tell like it is. Now, sometimes I do have to bite my tongue. When I was a kid, I had to bite my tongue a lot because I was a kid. But now I'm a grown up. I ain't holding back. I'm going to tell it like the fuck it is, because it needs to be told. Don't get me wrong. My foster mother, I adored the fuck out of her when I first met her. But when she started talking nonsense to me and started talking shit to me and calling me a sheepdog and all of this other, and when she let her friend jump on me, oh, that's when I knew this bitch wasn't shit. And I'll tell you that to your motherfucking face. I'm grown now. I'm with all of the shit and the gravy. I'm with it. You best to believe I'm with the shit, honey. I don't play no motherfucking games. I tell it like it is and the truth. But anyways, these mothers are going through some type of tower. There is loneliness with these women. These women are having feminine issues. They're in separation. And they are reflecting and reminiscing. Because remember, I was shown like a picture. Like somebody is looking at a picture of you. And it's like they adore you. But then at the same time, it's like they're imagining and projecting negativity onto you to distort how you look. And that's what I saw. And that's an illusion, a lie, a projection. So these mother figures are lonely. They reaping what the fuck they sow. You treat somebody else's kid like they ain't shit, and then you don't take accountability. You don't pay back the money with interest that you stole. Because I found out she stole $300 from me, but she been stealing from me. And they ran a trace on the check. And they told me basically the $300 that she stole from me, she used it to pay taxes on a house that she owns up here in Ohio. I want to say 1936 Staunton. Damn, that just came up. And you see how this is crazy. Look at this card. Thank you, Spirit. Honey, God is working. You see how I said 1936? 1906. The 3 is just missing. If you look at the 3 windows, 19, 1, 2, 3, 6. You can't make that stuff up, baby. You can't tell me I'm not tapped in and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I went through it, but I also know stuff that I should not know, but I know. Like I knew that I knew that this woman ain't shit. And then you mad at me because Sade reached out to me. That's why she had her people call me, thought that they was gonna gangstar me. Bitch, I will beat the fuck out of all of y'all with one hand tied behind my motherfucking back. Try me if you want to. Try me. If you come to me, you better come correct or don't come at all. Y'all gonna pay, and y'all are paying dearly. Y'all lost me. Because, see, I'm the one with the money. I've always been the one with the money. And I played broke. I played like I didn't have nothing just to make it through. Because I knew when I got out of foster care, I knew what I was coming into. And y'all behind the scenes having meeting, trying to steal wealth from me, using businesses and shit to hide this money. Oh, yeah, I know what you did. I know what all of y'all did. And now y'all paying. Yep, there's a mouse. These people are showing up as mouse energy. They snitching. They're talking about this. They're talking about how they lost you because they know they stole from you. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. They know they stole from you. Yes, you stole from me. And then you want to try to lie on my name and try to make me look bad to other people, trying to say that I was out here sexually active and having sex with everybody. Bitch, I never did no shit like that. That's what you and your kids and your son was doing. I remember Tanisha used to sneak Quan in the house when we used to stay on the corner of Goodnor and Washington. You didn't know this, but your oldest daughter used to sneak Quan in. And they was fucking upstairs. They was fucking right up under my nose. But I would just turn my head away. Her kids was very highly sexual because the mama is highly sexual. There's a coffin coming. Whew. Okay, so, ooh. Somebody could be, ooh. Anyways. Yep, this needed to end for a new beginning, change. Somebody's going through a rebirth. You moved away from these people. You ended something with these people a long time ago and started a new beginning. You went through some type of medical change, spiritual change, and you in a rebirth energy. That is what's going on. And these people that did you wrong, these women in particular, Mother Gaia is out here. That people that did you wrong, they sitting back and they have to swallow this big ass pill that they lost you. You are gone. And because they stole from you, they're under some type of destruction, spiritual destruction. They stole from me. That's another thing too. It was okay for her kids to wear my clothes, but if I wore their clothes, I will be punished. Yep, I will never forget this. Yep. It was okay for her kids to wear my clothes, right? But if I wore her kids' clothes, I will be on punishment. I will get cussed out. It was a lot of stuff that my foster mother, petty shit that she used to do. She was real petty towards me. Very jealous of me. Her and her daughter Taya was. And Taya eventually admitted it in the long run. She did. Something because you always had the key. You always, whoever you are that moved away, you ended a relationship with these people and started a new beginning somewhere else. You changed locations or just changed, period. You was guided by spirit to do this. This was a part of your destiny. You had to go through this because this was a part of what God had in store for you. Okay. You've always had the keys to success. You stay having bright ideas. You always had the key to solutions. You was always key to success. You stay having good luck. This was a test. Your family abandoning you and then having to be put in a government home and then get abandoned and treated a certain type of way. Everything you went through was not in vain. This is because of great reward. In the end, it's coming for you. It was destined for you. Yes. Here we go with the miracle. And this ain't even a card, but there's a miracle. You are a miracle. Because most people who have been through what you've been through, and this is what I say this all the time. A lot of people cannot walk in my shoes. Y'all want the money. Y'all want the glitz and the glamour. But you cannot, you would not be able to go through the pain and suffering that I had endured. And still make it out. A lot of women that have been where I've been, I even watched my friends, Mufan, Travis, commit suicide. And may their souls rest in peace. I will never forget y'all. Never. Never. May your soul rest in peace. Mufan was so beautiful. I mean, you would never thought this girl would ever think about hurting herself. And then my friend Travis, and Travis was a white guy. I went to school with him too. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. May their souls rest in peace. Yep, in a garden. Something about invitation. The Garden of Eden, honey. That's what it makes me think of. Something about an invitation. You're about to be invited somewhere to celebrate joy. You overcoming, passing your tests. Like I said, I had already forgiven these people. I never held a grudge against these people. I was pissed off at the time, and I wanted to knock these people's heads off. But after a while, I thought, you know what, I'm going to mirror back that same shit. And that's why we could never get along. Because you don't realize the shit you was doing to me. I'm a Pisces. Do your research. We mirrored that shit back onto y'all. We know what the fuck is going on. We don't need to go to church and listen to somebody else's religion and false narratives and fake belief systems. Because y'all really into witchcraft. That's really what it is. Somebody lives in a nice home and they are lonely. They in separation. They are in a tower, reflecting on the choices they made with their life, how they lost something. Now they snitching. Somebody snitching and talking about this. Now they're at a loss because of a theft and they're under destruction. There's an ending coming to these people. And for somebody they targeted, permanent ending for them. A new beginning for somebody else that's going through a change and a rebirth. Because whoever you are, you always had the keys to the solution. You was key success. You've always had good luck. You are a miracle. You are protected by ancestors. You learned your lessons. See, God ain't going to put no more on you than what you can bear. God knew that you could handle this task. Yep, you are a woman of elegance, love, and happiness. And then they try to say that you this and you that. Yes, I used to be a dancer. I danced on purpose, though. And people, see, the thing is, people don't tell you, oh, but while I was dancing, I was always doing hair. I was always doing makeup, and I was always into fashion. And I was modeling. So, yes, I'm very talented. I do a lot of different things at one time. I sure do. That's what makes me an alchemist, because I'm able to blend all my different talents and make them one. But you want to ride off of my success, talking about, yeah, when you get older, you're going to buy me this house that I always wanted. Well, bitch, you should have treated me a certain kind of way. If you knew I was going to be this and that, you should have been nice to me instead of being mean and talking shit to me. And talking down on my name. That's what you should have been. You should have been worshiping the ground I motherfucking walked on. You should have been kissing my ass, bitch. But that's not what you was doing. And I'm not saying you had to cater to me or treat me any different. I'm just saying, just like you didn't talk down on your kids. I never heard you talk down on Tanisha, Raymond, and Tyga. But you did a lot of talking down on me. Told me I would never be anything in life. Told me that I was gullible. Yeah, that's what you said. And you told me I should be fucking for bracelets and flowers. Who tells somebody, advise somebody to say, girl, lady, you got some fucking nerve. That's what you do. You fuck for flowers and bracelets, bitch. I ain't never did no shit like that. These are the things you chose to do with your life, with your coochie. Suki with the good coochie. Something about tree. You are healthy. You have family and you are very grounded. Tree of life, baby. Can't make it up. Can't make it up. Yep. There's a long road ahead. You got a lot of choices, decisions to make. You could be uncertain about, the path that you want to go down. But hey, there's a decision that needs to be made, a choice. Okay? There's uncertainty. Somebody's uncertain. Maybe they not clear. If you gonna forgive, I had already told you. I had already forgiven the situation. I don't hold no grudges against people. That's a waste of my energy. I cannot sit around, being angry with people, being mad, holding on to what people did. That's the choice they made for their life. All I did was mirror it and move on. But that $300 wasn't the only thing she stole from me. It was a lot of other things that she stole. But at the end of the day, where did he get her? Nowhere. You sitting up here stealing chump change and stupid stuff. Here. I'm going to just leave this message right there. I'm tempted to... What is this choice and decision that needs to be made? And I'm going to go back to my love deck. I'm going to go back to my love deck. What is the decision that needs to be made? We're going to clarify. Yeah, 22. Angel number 22. Something could be lining up. You could be seeing sequences of threes as well, too. Somebody is a miracle out here. You are a blessing. You could be wearing blue hair at this time. Maybe voodoo green. Because this person has colorful hair. You can have colorful hair right now, which I do. And blue is one of my other colors that I wear. I haven't worn it in a long time. I might be wearing it this year, though. But, yep, blue hair. But it's just bright, vibrant. Okay, so what is the choice decision? What is this uncertainty? Okay. Ooh. So somebody is manifesting something, a soulmate. It's something about you been praying and manifesting. You've been saying affirmations and you have been visualizing healing a relationship or partnership. Now, this person, what's crazy? I did, and I'm not going to cap. I will say the spirit is taking me back to some downloads. I did have some visions like a long time ago that my foster mother did wanted to like come in and heal. I had a dream that our paths was going to cross. And she was like going to be like apologizing to me about things and I actually had a dream that we was back, to be honest, despite all of this stuff that has happened in the past. Like I said, I don't hold no grudges against this lady. I understand why she did what she did. I understand it, unhealed trauma. I get that. I understand that. That's why I don't hold grudges against people, because I understand emotionally why people do the things they do. I understand it. And that's why I don't hold grudges. That's why I just remove myself from people. If you can't treat me the way that I treat you, like for example, when I lived with this woman, I was the one, and she don't even know this, but spirit is, dang, this is crazy. I was the one that thought about throwing her parties and things, surprise birthday parties and things of that nature. It was me that basically, because at that time, I appreciated the experience of living in her home. That's when things was good. And then when I started realizing like how she was projecting onto me things that she would say to me out of fit of anger and rage and things of that, jumping to conclusions, accusing me of doing it just pissed me off. And it took a lot for me to hold back my feelings and my emotions. But I will call my family and I will tell them, like, it's sad, you know, I have a family and I have to go live with somebody else because y'all wanted to get away with stealing from me. And that's what it was. And everybody that stole from me paid in horrible ways. They did. They paid in horrible ways. Like, I'm going to use this for an example. A lot of y'all don't understand. My grandmother was cursed with cancer because she was stealing from me for years and then lied to the government about it. She did. My grandfather showed me the letters before he died. The papers of what was said. And her excuse for putting us in foster care. But it didn't stop her from collecting the Social Security checks. Then my foster mother caught on to it too. But I couldn't say nothing to my foster mother about it because it wasn't really her business. But whoever you are, your prayers is being answered, and your affirmations, whatever you've been praying for and talking to the universe about, and you actually been visualizing this is happening. Okay? Spirit said you always deserved love. You are a lovable person. And people are realizing that now. Like my foster mother, it was my idea to throw her that surprise birthday party when we lived on Staunton. Her kids didn't come up with that idea. Her own biological kids did not come up with that idea. It was me. That was my idea to do that for you. But then when I realized that, yeah, we threw my mother a surprise birthday. We got a hold to her phone book, called up all her friends, invited them over. I'll never forget that. It's crazy. I did forget that until Spirit brought it back to me. I never really forget anything. Yep, there's trust. The situation is calling for you to trust and have faith. You need to have faith because Spirit is bringing in some type of soulmate. And that's crazy because I did have a dream that me and my foster mother, I've had this dream numerous times. I just forgot about it. But I've had this download where we were going to reunite and we was going to get past. People just need to take accountability and just tell the truth and stop lying. You're telling the truth because, I mean, not telling the truth, but you made up things and projected things that was not true. And it was because you were suffering from your own trauma. You never healed. And then because you didn't heal from trauma, it turned you into a greedy person. You felt like everybody owed you. People that ain't do shit to you, you felt like they owed you. And unfortunately, that is how broken people think. There is a honeymoon coming in. Something is going to be made right. Something is going to be balanced out. With somebody who was greedy towards you in the past. Somebody who wronged you. But once we get out of our own ego and accept the things that have happened to you, whether you was neglected by your mother, your father, whether your father, mother beat your ass, they beat each other's ass, whatever the case is, you have to heal. Everything, trauma is not meant for you to stay in trauma your whole life and project things onto other people. Trauma happens because it's a lesson that needs to be learned. And it's not saying that you did anything wrong either. So let's stop blaming ourselves for why things happen to us the way that you have to understand we are living in a flawed, corrupt system. And it's up to humans to know right from wrong, not your government. Humans, remember, the humans make up the government too. It's our responsibility to learn from our mistakes. Take responsibility for the things we do and say. That's what I'm feeling. And that's crazy this came out, because I did have numerous dreams that our paths were going to cross. And you see how the pathway is on here? I had a dream our paths was going to cross. And whatever the issues was going to be resolved. For one, I don't have any issues. This lady had issues with me. That's why I left her alone and left the family alone. And then when I wanted to communicate with Taya, she basically told me, well, if you're not going to talk to me, then you can't talk. And this is the type of person she was. And this is one of the reasons why Taya, when we was kids, even Taya sometimes was tired of her own mother. It got to a point where she would call up her mother's mother and say things like, I don't want to live here anymore. I want to come live with you. But then I remember this family meeting we had. And I remember, Stephanie, you said this. I guess you and your mother had a conversation. And you basically told us, well, you was really talking to Taya, but we had a meeting. And you were saying things like, well, ain't nobody else going to go live with my mother. That's my mother. Because I guess Tanisha was already living with your mom. And then, it was weird. But like I say, family issues. Okay? I want to pull some cards on this person that's at McDonald's, this manager. This person is using where he works at to either wash his dirty money, but that's not what I was getting. It's the same thing, money laundering and stealing. That's what I got, money laundering and stealing. And the stealing is hiding money, using a business, somebody else's business, to wash your money. That's what I was getting. That's how it was shown to me. Somebody that work at McDonald's. Yes, it's a lot of karma going on. Fire. We could be dealing with his fire side. There's a storm brewing. Karma. A firestorm. Could be dealing with a fire sign. Yeah, this is a karma card. There's a lot of karma going on with the tower. Yep. There's a male involved. Somebody is alive. So I'm automatically getting that somebody's going through karma. A male is on the lookout. Somebody could have said a masculine died, but this person is alive. This person could also be going through karma. They could be a fire sign, but they are alive. Ooh, there's a couple involved. When it comes to whatever this depth. Yep, that I knew it. This is about somebody faking somebody's death. So all of these people were having meetings behind the scenes. This is circling back. Somebody is going to probably come in. Nah, because I never saw that this person was confessing anything. They wanted to be back in your good gracious. They know. They was having meetings with your family, and all of these people connected. This is why this foster mother or whoever these people are to you, don't have to be, but they are mothers. This is why they talk down on you, because they was a part of some type of corruption. Said that somebody was dead. They faked somebody's death. A couple did. Now, now somebody could have staged somebody's death, but somebody could be out here saying that somebody died, and you really not dead. That's what's coming up. And they don't realize that you are manifesting everything, whatever's meant for your life path. Like I said, God got his hands on this situation. Everything is going to come out the way that it's supposed to in divine timing. But these people are definitely under karma because a male is alive. A couple faked this male's death. I feel like the masculine in this couple, they also want me to say the man in this couple faked his death. So the question is, why did they fake this person's death? Why did this masculine in this relationship fake his death? Or why did a couple fake a death? Why? Spirit, why? They're receiving karma for this. Everything backfired. Look at all of these cards that came out. So I'm going to do it this way. There's an energy of somebody being out of their mind. This couple was out of their mind with the outer space energy. They were out of their minds. They stole some missing evidence, missing piece to a puzzle, missing letters. And now they're trapped because they don't have the information that they need when it comes to faking somebody's death. Maybe a death certificate is what they need. I don't know. But there is missing somebody that is out of their mind or out of space or out of wits is missing. This is what they've been telling. I'm also getting, and they're trapped. Somebody that is perverted, has been in an accident or is going to be in an accident. Also because there is a legal situation going on. This legal situation, there's a lot of obstacles, a lot of difficulties going on with a legal situation because of lies that was told. They have been hiding. Somebody's hiding in somebody's neighborhood. That's a part of this. Somebody lives in your neighborhood. Could be a neighbor. So what are these lies? What is this court situation concerned about? Somebody that was jealous of you, that has been watching you, and they are accomplice and partners in a crime. Look at this. Somebody that is jealous of you, been watching you because they are accomplice and partners in a crime with the couple. And this could be the same people. This is about jealousy. Somebody has always been jealous of you. And this person has been, what did I say with the pictures? Watching you, paying attention to you, thinking of you. Because they're jealous of you and they've been watching you. And this person, Elaine, Stephanie, Ebony, the person that work at McDonald's, they all are accomplice to a crime that they're trying to cover up. And this person been projecting onto you that they want to come in and honeymoon. Somebody, you need to trust this. Whatever this is, you need to trust, because it's a lot of layers. I'm hearing a lot of layers to this situation. It's a lot of layers. The veil is being pulled back. A lot of layers to this crime. People who are basically out of their minds thought that they was going to get away with this. Okay, so what was the crime that they committed? Fake death. Somebody faked a death. That's what the crime is. The courts are finding out that somebody perjured themselves. That's what I'm getting. Perjured themselves. How you spell perjury? Told you, judgment. They're under judgment. Okay, tell us more about this crime. The court. What's going on in the courts? What is this about? There's karma going on because a male is really alive. A couple faked this male's death. This couple was out of their minds when they did this. There is missing information that they can't provide, and this is what trapped them. They were, whoever these people are, they're perverted. They're going to be in an accident, or they already have, because there's a court situation that's difficult. They have been making something difficult with the courts because of lies, and somebody's hiding in a neighborhood, hidden in plain sight, because they jealousy and been watching, and they are in what else is going on? You're going to find out about this. You're going to find out everything in divine timing. You're going to find out everything you need to know. Everything is coming together. Yep, there is a group involved. Created a natural disaster. Something about a hung jury, or they hanged themselves. Again, a partner, a spouse. It keeps coming back to a couple. There's actual couple. And then there's somebody here that's been an accomplice in crime with this couple. Again, this is definitely a couple who are accomplice to a crime. And people have been aiding and abetting in a crime, harboring a lawbreaker. Aiding and abetting and harboring a criminal. They told a lot of lies in court, but this is being found out. Somebody's been hiding in somebody's neighborhood. So whoever you are, you're the targeted person, and they've been hiding in your neighborhood. There's a lot of jealousy. Yep, but here with the aliens, here we go. There are forces beyond our control that got their hands on the situation. That's confirmation. They're not going to get away with anything. Yep. Again, it's showing up that this is a man-made disaster. Something about a wooded area. Oh my gosh. So the devil, these people somebody lives in the woods. You could be dealing with a Libra. Somebody who is in a magician energy. Liars and thieves, master manipulators. Trying to use all of their resources to get away with something. And the devil is in here. You could also be dealing with a Capricorn. So I said Capricorn, Libra, Sagittarius. Could also be dealing with Gemini, a Cancer, a Leo, let me see something. You could be dealing with an Aries. I already said a Virgo. I also said Gemini. Could be dealing with a Taurus. Gemini again. A Leo and a Virgo. Pretty much. I think I said all of the signs. Yep. I said Taurus. Why I keep wanting, yeah. Somebody lives in the same neighborhood as somebody else. Or these accomplices live next door to each other. Or they used to. When all of this happened, they all lived in the same community. And that's crazy because when we moved to Georgia, we did live in the same community. We stayed in the same condo complex right across from each other. That's why these people, this is why your foster mother had people watching you. Or this parent had people watching you because they were a part of a scandal. Somebody faked their death. Somebody lied to the courts and said that somebody was dead that's not dead. And they're receiving karma for this. A lot of lies was told. Somebody is actually, I'm getting that you actually live, you're in plain sight. And you live in a very nice community. Somebody is very jealous of you. They are a part of a group. This whole group is experiencing natural disaster. And with that being said, guys, that is the message. I'm going to leave that right there. You know what? Nope, I'm not going to do that. That was your message, guys. Have a fabulous one. See you till the next one. Bye.